So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can connect your Google Analytics account to the new Analytics 4 property, as well as why you should make that change. So there are two common reasons why you would make that change already. First of all, the new Google Analytics 4 property will have no historical data. So the moment you will connect this to your current Analytics account, or when you create a new account, you will have no data in there. There's no way to get your years of past historical data in that account. So if you make this change now, the more historical data you will accumulate going forward. And secondly, it will just put you ahead of the curve. One day in the future, whether this is next year or in 10 years, Google will make the announcement that they will drop Universal Analytics. Everything points into that direction. So why not be ahead of the curve and already learn yourself how to work with Google Analytics in the new version? So let me show you how you can connect or make the change when you're already using Universal Analytics. So I'm here in an example account, and in the top left you can see your properties. So normally I would have two main properties. I would have a production environment and I would have a staging environment. So those will be clones of the same website, but on different domains. One will be for pure testing purposes of our team, and the other one will be that actually is shown to the outside world. So for my team, I already have a Universal Analytics account, which is this one, and I have a Google Analytics 4 property. So already went through the exercise of connecting or creating the Analytics 4 property. For the Universal Analytics production account, I do not have a 4 property yet. I do have all my views nicely set up. I just miss this GA4 for the production. So let's set that up. So if we go into that view, let's just check the master view. It doesn't really matter. Then we can go to admin in the bottom left, and then you will see this GA4 setup assistant. So that's the one we want to use. So if we go in there, we can say connected property GA4 property name. So there is already one connected. In your case, there might be automatically one connected or not. So let's just disconnect that one for now and start from scratch. So we want to start, say create property, and see what happens. So it automatically creates this Zebra Farm production property. It won't show here yet. So you still see only the Universal Analytics one. However, if we then click see your GA4 property, it will open a new tab, and from that point onwards, it will appear in the top left corner. So now we see a GA4 property. So this is kind of new. So it created two. So one of them I actually disconnected, and now it created two. So this is not ideal. So I actually want to delete one of those. But for you, it should hopefully only show one. So let me show you how to then install that GA4 tag to your website so that you start tracking. So go into tag installation, which is this one. Click here. And for my purposes, I will only use the web version. But now with the GA4, you can also use it for apps, as you can see here. So there's an iOS and Android data stream available. So you could set up a data stream there via the Firebase and SDK. If you're a developer working on these apps, you will know what that means and how to do this. But for us, we just want to use it for the website. So it automatically created this data stream, but we still have to connect it. So there are two ways to do it. And within those two ways, we have two different options. So first of all, there is the new on-page tag. So if you're creating a new Google Analytics account, this is probably what you want to do, the new on-page tag. However, most of us will probably have already an old version, so you will already have Universal Analytics set up. So then you want to use your existing on-page tag. So let me just go through the options of the new on-page tag first. So my general recommendation is to never use this option. So never just copy paste this script and place this in the head tag, installing Google Analytics 4 that way. if you're creating a new account, try to right away migrate to Google Tag Manager, and then within Google Tag Manager, install the tag. So to give a brief indication how that would work, if you go into Google Tag Manager, let's see, that doesn't open right away. So we can just go to Tag Manager. And then go into one of our accounts. So let's go into the ZebraFarm account. Create tags, create a new tag, go into tag configuration, and then add the GA4 configuration. The only thing that we then need is a measurement ID. And the measurement ID we can find right here. So if we copy paste this one, add that in here, and then trigger this on all pages. Give this a good name, so GA4 configuration, save it, and then publish that, submit it to our workspace, then we will have installed this. The only way what you have to do, obviously, is to install Google Tag Manager, and this goes very similar. If you go into your Google Tag Manager admin view here, then you can click on Install Google Tag Manager and then place these snippets into your head of the page and as well as in the body of your page. So you can share this either with your developer or do it yourself. But then you have Google Tag Manager installed. The benefit of doing that is that it's actually very similar to installing this tag, but instead of now every time having to install this tag via a developer or via your code base, you can now just use Tag Manager to install future tags right away. So you won't have to commit anything to your repository. You can just let your developers alone. So that's much quicker. So just try to migrate right away to Google Tag Manager. If you're already having a existing on-page tag, I would recommend adding the new configuration following these steps. So it's the very same way as we just showed with the new on-page tag, and then simply copy paste your measurement ID. This will be different for you, so you can find it here in the top right as well. Copy paste that one in, and then add it to your Google Tag Manager workspace. So that's the recommended way of doing it. Again, I would not go through this route. I would do everything via Google Tag Manager. And that's all. So if you have set that up, then you'll start receiving both data in your Google Analytics 4 property, as well as in your Google Analytics Universal Analytics property. So you'll have two of them. In my case, I accidentally created an additional one. This one I will just delete, so don't worry about that. And one other thing, you will indeed, within Google Tag Manager, keep your Universal Analytics tag as well as your GA4 tag. So I would just keep using both until Google says, hey, I'm no longer serving Universal Analytics. Fine, then we can remove it. But until then, I would just use both in case one might not work properly. We still have the other one, but also just to let everybody work with the old one while slowly switching to the new one, so that you're not forcing yourself or anybody else to learn this new tool all of a sudden. So I hope this will be helpful. If you have any questions, just let me know, and good luck with the implementation.